president was murdered. The other murder incident was buried in the dark by Blaise DeBast. However, there's still one piece of evidence that remains. Agent Lang is survived by your father's hands. My old man, you say? Please recall, there is one more thing that was hidden along with the traces of the murder. And that is the existence of the body who caused the fire. The boy. Why did Blaise make the boy disappear? It's because he saw something that he wasn't supposed to see. What was the thing he wasn't supposed to see? Everything is drawn in this picture. The drawing my old man had. The person drawn on the right is most likely the president. The Muzilla doll is also drawn near him. Yeah, and that's what's his face, the assassin dude. Dogen. And the person standing opposite him is... Where's my man? You.
Take that.
He killed the fucking president. Who the fuck is the fatty? The man with a knife and a large black dog. He is none other than Sirhan Dogen. Because if that was the real president, he would have recognized John Marsh. And he would have probably said something. What? The assassin? Why would an assassin appear before presidents? The answer is clear. Indeed, what occurred that night on the orphanage ground 12 years ago was not a kidnapping. It was a presidential assassination. What's this music for? Oh! And Miss Rowland and Mr. Blaise were. Yes, the two were likely partners in crime. One furnished the orphanage to use as the scene of the incident, and another covered up the young boy's testimony. It's likely that Mr. Cameron was murdered because he witnessed the assassination itself. After all, the kidnapping actually never happened. Stop messing around. You're saying that the president was assassinated 12 years ago? We just found his body today. He's been alive up until now. That's right. I mean, we met him ourselves. The president was assassinated 12 years ago, and the president's body was found today. That would imply there were two presidents. Fucking dead presidents! Yeah, and that can't be right. Are you sure about that? There's one possibility that there were two presidents. That's right. Up until now, I've been getting a strange feeling from the president. Even so, I still respect the man. Because after that incident, he cut ties with everyone he was close to. Amy, the kid. Well, he wasn't close with the kid. Lang, his family. Zhengfa is a small country, but he carried the nation with his strength. The image of President Huang and Ancient Lang described wasn't this fat fuck. You're wrong, He revealed his true form. Differs far too greatly from the President Huang we know. It's as if they were two entirely different people. There were in fact two Zhengfa presidents. Exactly how would such a scenario be possible? What would make the existence of two presidents possible? Body double! Body double! If we were to assume that one of them was a body double, wouldn't it be possible then? Body double! President Huang possessed immense power and authority in Zhengfa. I'm sure there were those who envied his position and made attempts on his life. Yes, just as he was attacked a few days ago at Gourd Lake. It's true, there were those who sought Huang's life from time to time. But I can't easily believe that there were two presidents. At least not without any evidence. Do I have evidence that proves that there were two presidents? Do I? Do I have fucking evidence that proves there were two presidents? Do I have evidence? Do I have evidence that proves that there are two presidents? Do I have evidence that proves there's two presidents? Does this tell me anything? Wait, okay. What? The president of Zhengfa, Huang, was kidnapped on February 10th, 12 years ago. The kidnappers demanded it. Dai Long Lang confirmed that on the evening of the incident, the president was at the Zhengfa until midnight. But he met Amy Marsh at midnight. Fuck! Suck it! Has Agent Lang not noticed this contradiction? Or has he not noticed it but can't admit it? What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't shout something out. Don't suddenly clam up. According to the recording on this doll, the president visited the orphanage at midnight. However, that should not have been possible. Huh? Why is that? Why? Because at the time the president should have been at the embassy. He was together with Agent Lang's father. So, Agent Lang, you really did notice. He was in two places at the same time, ergo there must have been two presidents. Oh! Then which of the two presidents was the real one on that day 12 years ago? Most likely the one who died. Who contracted Dogen to murder Huang? In order to learn that, first, you must have a look at the evidence that we proved it was false earlier. And the piece of evidence we know to be false is this picture. The photo taken with Cameron's camera was taken after he was murdered. And he was murdered because he witnessed the presidential assassination. In other words, the photo must have been taken following the assassination. Given that, who is the president pictured in the fake photo? We must consider him to be the body double. In other words, the body double had the real president murdered and took his place. Patricia, Roland, and Blaze must have cooperated in that plan. Hold it! Wang's body was never found. That's what was buried. This is where it could have disappeared to. The answer to that is already quite apparent. This is where the real president's body was. It should be. Yeah, there's no other clue for it yet. It's this. Last night there was something Blaze had to unearth with his own two hands. That item was not the ransom. It was something far more important. So Blaze unburied the real president's body. The possibility is quite high. What do you say? The bones from the body buried 12 years ago would still have remained. According to Mr. Powers, construction was to begin soon at this lot. That was the deadline, both for the movie and the retrieval of the body. Because they would have found the body when they started the construction. Agent Lang let us search the footprints that Blaze dug up. Yeah. If the body was buried there, there'd be traces of it. Hey, somebody call forensics. Found a femur. I have the results of the search. We found traces in the dirt that suggest a body was buried here. So it was Huang after all. We also recovered the skeletal remains that Blaze dug up. They were in his home. In addition to the bone structure, the dental records and the bone fractures all match up. We can confirm that it was indeed President Huang. So the real President Huang was indeed killed 12 years ago. The SSS-5 incident was a murder. Interesting. So the SSS-5 incident was actually a murder incident. But there's so much information, it's way too confusing. Indeed, let us take this opportunity to review the details of the case. First, the real president came to the orphanage, right? "12 years ago. The true president visited the orphanage in order to meet his son. The footsteps in the snow that we thought would belong to Mr. Cameron were most likely made by the president at that time. The President Huang was supposed to meet his son here. I feel like that could just be John Marsh there. Oh, however, it's Dogen, never mind. However, the one who actually showed up was the assassin, Dogen. He came here to meet his son, but was murdered instead. How horrible. A man like Dogen shows no mercy. After that, the second tragedy occurred. You mean Mr. Cameron's murder? Indeed, Mr. Cameron saw the decisive moment. And the real president was killed by Dogen. His body was carried to the rear of the courtyard by the team of kidnappers. Oh, God. Mr. Cameron must have witnessed that moment. From the orphanage entrance. Although he himself believed that there was a kidnapping, he actually saw a murder. Furthermore, by this time, yoink, the body double, who had come to meet up with Blaze and Miss Rowland, was already standing behind Cameron. And then the witness to the incident, Mr. Cameron, was killed by the body double. So was Mr. Cameron's corpse also carried by the body double? Yes, that seems likely. But there wasn't anything at the crime scene that looked like the body double's footprints. I've already figured out how he accomplished that. There's a piece of evidence that would have made it possible. What did the body double use to move the body without leaving any footprints? Dude, shoes. I couldn't walk in those shoes. They're too fucking small. It's almost certainly how the body double carried Mr. Cameron's corpse. After Mr. Cameron was killed, the president's body double carried him into the middle of the garden. I suspect the body double was wearing the same shoes as the real president at the time. He made sure to step precisely on top of the footprints left by the real president. Ah, since the shoes were the same, that's insane. There'd only be one set of footprints left behind in the snow. I feel like that would have been obvious to see. I think I've got a pretty good grasp on the SSS-5 incident now. But there's still one thing I don't get. What's that? Why do you need to stage the abduction? Because Mr. Cameron witnessed the incident. He saw the president at the orphanage. He left behind witness testimony on Miss Crane's answering machine. Even Blaze couldn't make that disappear. Ergo, the body double needed a reason for the president to have been at the orphanage. And that's why they prepared the fake kidnapping charade. The charade. The people in the fake photo are the body double and most likely Patricia Rowland. The person in the coat is Miss Rowland. What makes you say that? The two would have to leave the orphanage in order to take the picture. Just like when he moved the body double used the real president's footprints. Ah, so the second set of footprints must belong to the person in the coat. Indeed, we originally believed that those footprints belonged to Cameron's killer. They were size 7, too small for Blaze's feet. Thus, we can presume that the person playing that part of the kidnapper was Patricia Rowland. Hidden in the shadow of the presidential kidnapping was the presidential assassination. I see. So that's why my old man... Why he what? The old man must have realized that a murder had taken place. After all, he had the kid's drawing. However, that picture was never presented as evidence. Well, it can't really be used. Your father most likely took it from the young witness during the investigation and hid it. He had to have known that Huang was dead. But what if he had revealed that back then? Revealed the death of the president, the backbone of Zhang Fa. It would have caused chaos. Well, then the question is, who the fuck is this guy? And that's why my old man took the secret to his grave. And he even took the blame for the kidnapping, knowing that would be the fall of the Lang house. House of Lang. So this is the truth that Agent Lang's father hid 12 years ago. And now it's all become clear. It's all coming together. Is that really the case? I wonder. Huh? What? Who's there? Oh, hey, Dogen. That bell, it's... Zeron Dogan. You! Why are you here? How can you just brazenly show up here? Who do you think you are, pal? I found the conversation most intriguing, and I just... well... Are you feeling nostalgic about an old murder of yours? You're the one who killed Huang. Nostalgia? I think not. You're speaking about the person I am searching for. You're searching for someone? I escaped from prison in order to meet with a young acolyte. The one who wore the red raincoat. The red raincoat? Who's this person? I suspect that it's the same person as the mastermind you are searching for. Someone you've been searching for. The one in the red hood. The red hood? Don't they seem surprised, Anubis? Yes, they are, my boy. 12 years ago, this young acolyte saved my life. Dogan Savior. Certainly it was I who killed President Huang. However, my life was also targeted on that day. The body double, Blaze, and Patricia all sought to seal my lips. Had I not been reunited with the young acolyte back then, I would have been in danger. But alas, even to this day, I do not know what that has become of the young acolyte. So your client was indeed the body double, who was the main perpetrator of the crime. It was a long time ago, but I remember his words even now. There have been countless attempts on my life, not just once or twice, countless. Yet why must I be the only one to face the danger? When I stand before the people, I garner the same respect as the president does. Oh my god, you fucking pussy. Tell me, just what is the difference between him and I? The difference was great, while the voice and the style of speech may be the same. One can mimic the body, but the heart cannot be reproduced. I suppose his own weakness cost him in his quest to become a leader. Now that Rook's gone, I'm in charge. I'm not sure if you're capable as Rook is. What are you saying? I'm totally the leader now. Ugh. Perhaps the king and his knight were not so different after all. The body double believed that the president's only weakness was a woman called Amy. To find the woman, he needed the assistance of someone from this country. So he joined forces with Blaze. After determining her whereabouts, he simply waited for the right opportunity. The chance came with the meeting at the orphanage. Indeed, the director of the orphanage was bribed and brought in as an accomplice. He must be referring to Patricia Rowland. Well, given what I've told you, do you realize the whereabouts of the young acolyte now? He and the boy who saved you, but how do you know that he is the mastermind? That day, the young one caused a fire at the garden of the orphanage. You're talking about the kid who started the fire as a prank. A prank? Not at all. It was intentional. Of fucking course it's intentional. On that night 12 years ago, the young acolyte was hiding inside the igloo. It seems he witnessed Patricia and Blaze moving the body from his hiding spot. Apparently heard them talking during that time. It would seem that they were planning to kill me because I knew the truth. He immediately came to the main hall to tell me that. Dead men tell no tales. I learned this about the young acolyte sometime later. Seems he was wearing a red raincoat at the time. Convenient. He led me out of the main hall. I don't know why he's okay with this dude that's literally killed a president. And then the young acolyte said he was going to get rid of our footprints. So he scattered some lamp oil near the igloo over the snow. Then he boldly set the oil ablaze. No way! So he set the fire in order to... All their focus was diverted towards the burning flames. I took the opportunity to escape through the rear exit. Oh, is that how Blaze got the fucking scar on his face? So the boy in the red raincoat is the mastermind behind this case. Exactly. Isn't that right, Anubis? Yes, boy, yes it is. Dogen Savior. Reunited means it sounds like they were, knew him. Reunited. So when did you first meet with him? That would be 18 years ago, on the 24th of December. That's a rather long time ago. On that day, our roles were reversed. I saved the young one's life. There was an unusual snowstorm on that day. The temperature was well below freezing. I took Anubis for a walk in the snow. That's when Anubis noticed something and started running. I followed after him and found a car. He had a great difficulty opening the door. It had frozen shut. In the back seat were two young children, shivering from the cold. 2 children. If they remained in the car for an hour longer, they surely would have frozen to death. I brought the 2 of them to a nearby orphanage. Is there anything about Dogen's story that concerns me? Yeah. What concerns me is the date, the number of children. Why are there 2 children? You said you only saw 1. There are 2 children in the car. You're sure of that? It may have been 18 years ago, but I remember it clearly. There are 2 children in the car. There's no mistaking it. Does a good prosecutor have a problem with that number? Right now, the number of children isn't what I have a problem with. Are we done talking about the subject yet? What concerns me is the date. Sure. The 24th of December, 18 years ago. Are you sure about that? Oh my god. Oh my god. You fucking killing me. And that's when Isaac Dover killed the fucking dude. Or Dover died, sorry. Yeah, it was fucking what's his face? Not Jeffrey Master, Gustavia. Oh my god. There's no mistaking. Could that mean? I know the significance behind that date. What shows the significance of that date when Dogen found the children? Oh my fucking god. That day, a certain incident occurred. A sculptor was murdered. I was thinking, we had that picture. Like, if we still had that picture of, like, the 2 people together. I was gonna say it looked like them. Ah. During that incident, 2 young boys went missing. The sons of the victim, Isaac Dover, and the culprit, Dane Gustavia. I never found any, find out where those 2 boys went after the case 18 years ago. Huh. They were the sons of a victim and a culprit. It all makes sense now. What makes sense? One of the youths was bound so that he could not move. Mr. Dover did it so that Mr. Gustavia's son couldn't come to the contest venue. Indeed, Gustavia was using his own son as a taste tester. I think that was what transpired. Neither child seemed to recall what had happened. They lost their memories, although I mean they were probably too young. The acolyte told me this when we were reunited 12 years ago. The pair were placed in an extreme situation on the verge of freezing to death. That trauma led them both to suffer from amnesia. Neither could do so much as to remember his own name. So he didn't even know that they were the sons of Mr. Dover and Mr. Gustavia. Indeed, while we cannot say it conclusively, probability is quite high. However, we still don't have enough information to deduce the mastermind's identity. Dogen, would you please continue your story? Well, it's one of those 2. Very well. Dogen and the acolyte. I continued my correspondence with the young acolyte even after entering prison. Recently, that has all come to an abrupt halt, however. It left me quite concerned. Furthermore, those involved in the crime 12 years ago were all drawn into incidents one by one. I grew more and more curious, and so I absconded briefly from the prison. Those involved 12 years ago were Patricia Rowland and Blaise Debastin, President Huang's body double. All three were involved in some kind of killing. And Miss Rowland was the warden of Mr. Dogen's prison. I blackmailed the warden. That woman had tried to kill me. Perhaps a good prosecutor has already deduced the reason. You murdered President Huang, however, the world still believed he was alive. If you were able to prove the president was a fake, both Patricia Rowland and Blaise Debastin would have been in danger. That is correct, and I had heard the proof with my own ears. I'll be waiting in the courtyard of the orphanage at midnight on February 9th. Even if it's just once, I want John to be able to meet you. I'm sorry if I'm being selfish, but I'll be waiting. Who might you be? Ah, I'm the one. My apologies, but I'm presently waiting for someone. I'm well aware of that, President Huang. You're not meeting with your son. However, I do not spill blood needlessly. You may relax. I seek only the president's life. It can't be. Please wait. I'm just about to meet my son for the first time. I'm sure this will be the first and last time. Please, at least wait until we are finished. I thought the president would beg for his life, but he was of a different sort. Officially, the president had no son. However, he shook his head and said, this illegitimate son was his and he intended to recognize him publicly. Furthermore, he claimed that he had already made preparation towards that end. Would that son of his be the boy with horns over there by any chance? Boy with the horns? Wait, you can see John's horns? There's no need to see them. From the moment I escaped from the prison until now, I've been closely lending an ear to your voices. He said that the president made preparations towards recognizing his son, but the word preparations alone would be insufficient for blackmail. That's it. There's one thing that could prove Ho Wong's words, the will held by the House of Lang. It's also proof of his trust in us. His son's existence would have been revealed to the world. The name on the recording, the mention of the preparations, and the will in Zhengfa. Together they suffice to make the warden bow to my words. With those three pieces of information, one could prove the identity of the body double. By using John. The president blocked the first strike of my knife with something soft. A piece of it fell atop the snow. I struck once more, this time the blow proved fatal. Dogen cut off the Muzilla's doll's horn. None but I heard his final words. Only myself and that child knew of the president's secret son. God, you still fucking killed him? After he's like, yo, can I just see my son? And he's like, nah, I'm just gonna fucking stab you instead. Also, fucking boss on his shirt. Are you fucking kidding me? Get out of here, you fucking nerd.